How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be bringing a little bit of positivity to the internet. I've been away on exercise for a couple of weeks. I have a sort of checklist of what videos I'm going to bring up next. I sort of plan ahead. This kind of topic here has piggybacked a few other topics. It's maybe not so much hyper-focused into the British Army and military. If you're new here, that's what this channel is all about. But it's a reference to the country, which I believe fits into this channel because I'm in the British Army and I'm a British citizen and I love the country. So I just want to talk a little bit about it. A little bit, I want to sort of, before we go into the depths of the video, I am not a political sort of, I have not got experience in politics. I haven't studied politics, economics, and all the rest. I have absolutely zero idea on how to run this country. I'm not qualified to run this country. So I'm not going to chirp in on what I think the country should do or the country government's leadership should do within the army, and got to be mature about it as well. If you've jumped onto this channel now, you've fallen onto this and you've zero military experience. For you who have got the military experience, you're either serving or you have served before, we've got to be mature about it. We understand I'm part of an organisation. I've got to remain neutral here. But what I'm going to be speaking about here is sort of the uptake I see of sort of negativity. Now, this might be the algorithm just absolutely hammering me with stuff. Maybe people are having a great life, but I'm being served a lot more, specifically here on YouTube, in and around this niche of the country and all the rest of it. It's quite negative, and people are upset and depressed and angry and all the rest of it, which I don't disagree with people. We all have our opinions and how we go about things, but I want to sort of a little bit of a talk here on the niche that I am in, and the age group that come here, because when you're on YouTube, you have this a whole YouTube studio. Whenever you open a channel, you can see all your analytics if you've been on YouTube for a while. So it's kind of like a mini TV station, if that makes sense. So you can see all the different sort of age groups, where they're watching from, and all the rest of it. And then that would help you then hyper focus your content to make it more engaging for that certain age group. Now, for myself, I've got a very diverse audience. It used to be just that sort of 18 to 30 sort of group, which would have been like 80% of the viewership, where now it's dropped right down to about maybe 60%, 67, 60%, but now 20% is of the age, a sort of older age group. It's from 55 upwards up to like 65 plus. And I can just make a guess that's either people who are interested in the military or probably veterans, I would say, is what's propping that up now, which then it shows a whole wealth of life experience within the comment section of these videos. And I have sort of noticed an uptake in sort of slightly more on the sort of negative side when it comes towards the army and all the rest of it. Now, the only thing I sort of see with that is completely, and I will never ever delete anyone's comments unless they're like flipping, really like either sort of proper abusive to anyone, all the rest of it, then I'm going to remove that. But if people are sort of emotional and they're going to express their emotions down the comment section, I'll leave that there because I'm a big advocate of free speech. But I would obviously say as well, just on your words of caution, before you type a comment, just think of everyone else who's reading them comments. And more particularly, there's a lot of young people who still love this country. Not only are they going to step up to serve in the army or any of the other services, for that matter, but they still like this country and they love this country. And no matter what is going on in this country, they still get amongst it. And you got to look at the military as like a team as such. And it doesn't bother me because I've got super thick skin now from being in the army for like 19, 20 years now. But I could just probably put myself back into like a young 18-year-old sort of mindset. It might be a bit disheartening to see, people who've got more experience and all the rest of it, just consistent negative, because they're still going to go and join, but then they feel like they might not be supported by the other community. And no matter what you think about senior leadership, whatever that is, or who makes decisions and all the rest of it, if you've got it out with them, happy days, have it out with them. But we've got to protect the younger generation, and just get in behind them and prop them up. And I can see a lot of stuff going, people, upset with different things that's happening within the UK at the minute and all the rest of it. But with this diverse audience I have here in the age group, I guarantee you now, if you're like in your, 60s, late 60s, mid 60s, around 50s, you would have lived through some other different changes, within the lifespan of you growing up. So you've definitely, and I definitely think that with Britain itself, we are a very small country, and I get that. But we've been through a lot, and I think there's what's that? I can't remember it now. That Carry On. It's gone for me. It's all you see. It's stuck over cushions and everything, and all the rest about chin up, carry on, whatever it is. Someone jump in the comment section. But I think we've always all had that attitude. And when the chips are down and everything's against us, we've always just sort of like steamed on through and just made do with what we've got and make it better. And that's what we're coming on to now. Is I can remember a little from a military experience here, a time where when I was a junior NCO, I think it was a Lance Corporal, was it just promoted Lance Corporal, and there was something happening at work, I can't remember what it was, but I was in a bit of a circle where it's like, on a smaller scale, what it's like on the internet now, we're all very negative in our talk and how we were sort of communicating with each other and sort of stuff that was happening within work, and became that constant sort of, oh, this is rubbish, or this is crap, and this shouldn't be this way, and in this little circle we were in, and it did become very, very toxic. And I had a really good mentor at that time, and he sort of sat us down. He did say to me specifically afterwards, it's like, I get it, X, Y, Z. I'm not going to say about the thing because people are still in and serving. However, he said, like, don't whine about it, do something about it. So get into a position where then you can enact change, become that umbrella. You take all the shit and have that umbrella so it deflects off everyone behind you. So you have experienced that. So everyone that's then walking in your shoes behind you later on in the years, they don't need to suffer with that because you've experienced that and you're going to make it better for them. Now, that's a very simple analogy, just in a small section, within a sort of small infantry regiment within the British Army. Quite clearly, it's a lot more complex when it comes to the country. But I see a lot of videos out there where I would say young, they're not teenagers, but sort of mid-20s, early 30s and stuff, and they're saying, yeah, I'm sack the UK, I'm like bugging out to, I don't know, Dubai and all these sort of wonderful places, which is fine, go have a life experience, but I say don't quit on the country. And there's going to be a lot of you watching this now who are not going to comment because you're very reserved and you're just going to watch in, but there'll be a lot of smart people watching this, and you could probably be a leader one day. And there's probably people sitting in university right now. I could probably argue there's going to be heads of industry. I would argue people are going to go off into the government and all the rest of it. Absorb everything that's going wrong. Absorb everything that's going on, learn from it, and then make it better from everyone else. I don't really like this sort of sack it attitude, because it's like, I need to watch what I'm saying and all the different stuff that you see people talking about, and the issues and stuff, and with the country and population and all the rest of it. But if we leave the country and just sack it, like, are we any better than anyone else then? I really do believe that it's wherever you are, you don't even need to be just joining the army or any of the forces in that matter. Wherever you are, your business, your industry, even your community, it's like driving that small little bits of change within all them sectors will then help lift the country up again. And we can only ever dealt with what we've got, but if we keep that positive mindset, I believe that you can really make it a better place, genuinely. And it just gets very saddening whenever you look, and I love Britain. I love kicked off something over there. I love the UK. I'm proud to be British. I will never leave the country and all the rest of it. And it just gets really disheartening to see people lose faith. And you've got to keep that faith. And which brings me on to another thing as well. Don't want this video to go super long, but I might lose a lot of viewerships, and this might be a bit controversial, but when I said the word faith there, and I think that's a big thing as well. Now, I am a Christian man, okay? I was brought up a Christian, so I went to church, went to Sunday school every Sunday, all the rest of it. I went to secondary school, and then I diverted. I would always have said, if someone goes, oh, what religion are you? I would always said, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I was not a Christian. I never walked the walk of a Christian. It's only really to the last sort of, I would say, 2-3 years where I've proper hyper-focused and regained my faith again. Now, I'm not going to try and be evangelistus here. I'm so bad at my speech. If you're a current person on this, you'll know. I'm not going to try and convert you into Christianity and all the rest of it, because I don't believe in forcing things down people's throat. It's all, we've all got our right to choose what we want to do. But genuinely, like, that faith and like going back to the Bible and reading about Jesus, and not just reading the words, but learning about it all, but then just sort of sitting and meditating on it and thinking about it, it's genuinely changed my mindset on a lot of other stuff. And in a way, it's kind of given me this release. It's released me from the material aspect of the world. It doesn't mean I'm going to go out and live, in the wilderness and all the rest of it, but I'm not as worried about getting the big, like, just consistently trying to get the bigger and better, physical item and all the rest of it. It's been a real release. And other aspects of his teachings as well. It's, gossiping and stuff, not to gossip. we've all been there whenever people are talking about different people in the sort of, in your workplace or in your school or down the street and all the rest of it. But it's just completely releasing from all of that. And I genuinely think, when I think back to when I was growing up as a kid, now it might have been different because I was in Northern Ireland. If anyone's here who's in the mainland, so England, Scotland, Wales, wherever you are, and you were growing up around the sort of 2000s, sort of 90s, all the rest of it, I can definitely, like, the churches were packed in Northern Ireland. Maybe it's just us from Northern Ireland. But I always remember it was a big thing going there on a Sunday. You had the Sunday school, you had community outreach stuff for the church, so all the young ones we used to go and do sort of different stuff there. There was a real good sense of community there. Now, I've went to, my only confession in my faith now is my church attendance has been very low because I haven't felt right in a specific church. Which brings me on to another point where I think people who don't know anything about the Bible or Jesus or faith or whatever it may be, they see things on TV like leadership within the church and stuff doing wrong things and all the rest of it, and then they lose confidence in it all, and then that kind of throws people off. And that's where I've been sort of trying to find a good sort of church and to get that good sense of community again. But on my search for churches, my last village I lived before I posted down to where I am now, I went to a church, and when I sat at the back of the church going in, I looked around, it was empty. Like, there was so many seats free, and you were talking like the average age. I think I was the youngest there, and at that stage it was probably like 33 or something, which is mad. And I think as a country we've lost our way with our faith. I'm quite genuine. I'm not trying to convert anyone, but I promise you now, when I sort of flicked to my faith and really giving it a good hard go again and really hyper focusing on it, taking the time to learn and meditate on it, genuinely I felt a huge release off my shoulders. This is someone who's tried multiple stuff throughout my sort of 20s and early 30s, and it's definitely it squared me away. And that's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on that, because I understand that some people may get upset by it, but if you're someone who's out there and you're sort of bouncing around on it, it gives you a good structure to get behind. And I think that's what we're sort of lost within the country. And it's not up to I know it may seem up to like top leadership and everything, they have to square it away, but it comes down to the people. And genuinely, do not get sucked into loads of negative commentary. Quite rightly, look around and be informed, but just don't find, if you start to find yourself feeling negative thoughts, and you're constantly considering and going over it and seething your mind, and it will have an effect on your physical body. You got to just take a step back, look at everything's going on, take on that information, but then keep that positive mindset. Genuinely, especially if you're sort of in that younger generation, you got to keep going through, because genuinely you are the ones who's going to take this country to the next step, wherever it's going to be in the next 40, 50, 60 years. And if you are someone who's slightly more life experience, remember about them younger generation that's coming through, and you got to do what you can within your community to help them go through. I'm happy to sort of discuss in the comment section below about different stuff, but please, just make it constructive, and genuinely be positive mindset, and it definitely will help everything. And if I caught anyone out there in regards to the Bible and all the rest of it, please just give it a read. Honestly, what have you got to lose? Just have a read over it, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. If it is, then you might find out a few other things. But genuinely, it has squared me right away. Better than, I haven't sacked Fizz because I clearly have to do Fizz for my job, but like them endorphins and stuff that you get from doing a run, going to the gym and stuff and all the rest of it, it's genuine, and you have that big sort of happiness feeling after Fizz. Genuinely, like that's it's not like consistent, but I do not know what other way to put this. I can just tell you now from experience, I felt a mental shift in my own mind and how I sort of navigate the physical world by re-engaging with my faith again. And I genuinely think a lot of us would help us within this country, and I think we just need to reignite our faith again back into the big man upstairs. Right, went a little bit deep there for that conversation, but the key takeaways is, please try to remain positive. Don't just completely. I would, if you're feeling proper down and being hammered by loads of negative stuff on social media, take a break from it for a bit. Detox, go out walking, pick up a new skill, photography, writing, running, whatever it may be. Get away from it for a bit. and just look at this different channels you're following, and because the algorithm will pick you up and it will just absolutely hammer you because it thinks that's what you want, and then it will have an effect on it. So you've got to learn to stay back, get back from it, and re-engage with the physical life. Thank you very so much for joining me in this video. Very sort of slightly off topic, but I really do believe in the country, and I believe in everyone watching this. We gotta, like, it's us that's to sort of help each other and help each other guide through life. That sense of community, I think that's what we're missing as well, is that community aspect of it will always get people together. Do not let people suffer in silence, and all the rest of it. Thanks so much for joining me. Look forward to the next couple of videos. Are going to be more podcasty style videos where I'm going to have a couple of guests on, 2 different people, throughout the next couple of weeks. We've sort of been talking behind the scenes, and it will help you prepare for either officers wanting to join the military. There's someone there who's going to sort of talk about his experiences and how he helps people. And I've got someone else on regards to the whole sort of Royal Marines and getting ready for that. And you will still get something from it if you're coming to join the army, because it's all about health, fitness, mindset, and all the rest of it. Thanks very much for joining me. Stay positive and have the best evening, day, or whatever it may be as you're watching this. And I'll see you again in the next video. See you in a bit.